And I am Portia Gabor.
And I am Paa Kwesi Asare. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Attorney General serves notice of challenging Court of Appeal's decision which acquitted and discharged Minority Leader Kesel Atuforsen.
Still on the Atuforsen trial, NDC flag bearer John Mahama says the Attorney General should back off the case, insisting the entire trial amounts to a malicious prosecution.
After more than 2 decades of multiple parliamentary deliberations, Ghana's affirmative action bill has been passed.
Coming up in business news, economists urges Bank of Ghana to raise its forex allocations for imports from 40% to 60% to meet a growing demand for foreign exchange.
And elsewhere on the foreign front, an arrest warrant has been issued for Liberia's former finance minister, following allegations he was involved in a $500 million corruption scam. We've got details of all these stories and many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to visit any of our social media pages on Facebook and on X. To our very first story, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Godfred Yeboah-Dame says he will challenge the Court of Appeal's ruling, which acquitted and discharged Minority Leader Dr. Kesel Atuforsen and a businessman. The AG argues the decision is inimical to the fight against impunity and abuse of office.
Minority Leader Dr. Kesel Atuforsen, businessman Richard Jakpa, and former Chief Director of the Ministry of Health, Sylvester Animana, in January 2022 were accused of willfully causing financial loss to the Republic to the tune of €2.37 million through the purchase of ambulances. The court in March 2023 ruled that the 3 accused persons have a case to answer after prosecutors had called witnesses to testify. The 3 accused persons, however, headed to the Court of Appeal to challenge this ruling. The Attorney General later discontinued the case against Sylvester Animana, but continued with the trial against Richard Jakpa and the Minority Leader. The Court of Appeal on July 30 acquitted and discharged the 2 after it found that the High Court was wrong in ordering them to open their defense.
the case is over. We just want to thank the That's all. Just to thank the committee. Just to thank the board.
For law lecturer Dr. Justice Remsai, the ruling from the Court of Appeal does not come as a surprise.
This was so predictable, and it's entirely from the turn of events in the High Court. The only question you have to ask yourself to get to this point, to know that this case was bound to end this way, was that if the Attorney General was so confident in his case, would he have been having those conversations? Once you think about this question, and you listen to the tape, you have no doubt in your mind that an end of this kind was about to happen.
Lawyer Martin Pegbu adds the Attorney General should resign.
The High Court trial is such an embarrassment. It's embarrassed us as a nation. It's shame on the Attorney General that he has taken us through such an embarrassing attitude as a country. With this acquittal of Atuforsen, Dr. Dame must resign.
Reacting to the ruling from the Court of Appeal, the excited Richard Jakpa could not hide his excitement. He said the ruling reinforces his trust in the legal system.
This is the day the Lord has made. I must rejoice in us. My enemies and detractors have been put to shame. I've been vindicated. I'm a happy man. I'm a free man. All those allegations that they level against me, trying to dent my integrity because of the conduct of the crooked Attorney General of Federal, it hasn't worked. We still have judges of integrity in this country that we uphold fidelity to the law. So it's a good news for that.
While the Attorney General considers the decision of the Court of Appeal unfair and has vowed to appeal it, Richard Jakpa says he is ready for whatever the AG will throw at him.
He's Attorney General. So you can go to the Supreme Court, and even after the Supreme Court ruling, you can still go for review if he so pleases. It's a legal process. And I'm a combatant. I'm a warrior. I'm ready for every battle. So if you want to go to the Supreme Court, I'll meet him there.
The Attorney General says the decision will be challenged as it is grossly unfair to the nation and inimical to the fight against impunity and abuse in public office. Noble Crosby and TV3 News, Accra.
All right, so let me give you a background to this very controversial issue. So in a 2-1 majority decision, and of course a majority decision was taken by Justice Kweku Akabuafo and Justice Philip Bright-Mensah. They agreed with the submission of no case, and those, of course, who dissented to it was just Justice Alex Poku Achampon. He held a dissenting opinion. Let me just now give you a summary of the decision, and it goes to say that the evidence adduced does not show that Dr. Kese Latour-Forson caused financial loss or misapplied property of the state. It also said that the Ministry of Health approved all payments apart from those ordered by the court after Richard Jakpa sued Big C. It goes further to say that the prosecution also failed to provide sufficient evidence that meets the threshold connecting Dr. Kese Latour-Forson with the offences charged. It further says that the evidence adduced does not point to a guilt of Richard Jakpa, but rather his innocence. It concluded by saying that the High Court decision, in essence, what this whole ruling means is that the High Court's decision has been set aside, and also that Dr. Kese Latour-Forson and Richard Jakpa have been acquitted and discharged.
Meanwhile, former President John Mahama says the Attorney General must back off the case. He's been speaking exclusively to my colleague Komla Kluche.
Well, I think that it shows the vindication that he's innocent. We believe that this prosecution should never have taken place. Indeed, it came as a surprise because I had quite forgotten about the appeal. This appeal was made quite a long time ago when they filed a no-case petition before the court, and the High Court, rejected it, and so they went up to appeal. So apparently it's been before the appeal court for quite a long time. So it came as quite a pleasant surprise. But it shows that we still have justice in this country, and that we can work to make the judiciary what we want it to be.
Well, we have seen the AG really indicate that this is a perversion of justice in the interest of public accountability. One, if you were his appointor, what would you have advised him to do at this stage?
Well, I think that this Attorney General has been discredited enough. Anywhere in the world, with the things we've seen and the coaching of witnesses and discussion with witnesses, this prosecution would have been struck out as malicious prosecution. I believe this prosecution is malicious. He is not as, robust and energetic in pursuing cases that are okay. Even just as we're talking, there's an ambulance case involving this present administration, which is hugely larger than what he's prosecuting, and yet he has no interest in that. He is like a legal representative of the MPP party, over-enthusiastic in pursuing political opponents. I've said that when we come, it will be the reverse. We will pursue accountability for the regime that has gone out. But at the same time, if any of our people are involved in the same things that have happened for which we're prosecuting the opposition, we would, the previous government would prosecute them too. And so I think that the Attorney General is also the Minister of Justice. He forgets that. He thinks that he's just the Attorney General. The Minister of Justice is supposed to ensure fairness. Anywhere else in this world, this case would have been, and he would never even have come to court, not to talk about talking with witnesses, having conversations with witnesses and trying to tell them what to do. Yeah, this case should have truncated long ago.
The critics of yourself and the NDC say that you have suddenly found your voice in reposing some sort of confidence in the judiciary. What's your reaction to this as well?
No, not that we've suddenly found our voice. I do think that despite the issues we have with the judiciary, there are judges who are fair-minded. We're not talking about all judges. You know, in some cases, we criticize judgments. I mean, for instance, to say that your birth certificate cannot be a proof of your identity as a citizen. I don't agree with that judgment, but they pronounce it, and we've abided by it. We sent an election petition, we're thrown out. I said, I respect the judgment of the courts. So we've always respected the judgment of the courts. As president, I can say that I never, ever once interfered in the administration of justice. Even though the Chief Justice was a church member of mine, I can say on authority that I never, ever discussed one case with her. I left it to the judges, the wisdom of the judges, to make those determinations. In this government, we know and we've heard of manipulation of justice. Judges are called and told what decisions to take and all that. I do think that we gave judges tenure, security of tenure, so that they can be fair-minded in what they do. And I'm prepared to work with the judiciary to create the kind of judiciary we deserve. The judiciary is the last arbiter in all the three arms of government when it comes to any dispute. And the judiciary creates an environment for investors to come. If investors believe that they can get a fair hearing in case of any commercial disputes or anything, they will come into your country. Unfortunately, the message that goes out there is that we're able to manipulate our courts against investors. And so sometimes it sends a bad signal for investment. I'm prepared to come as president, work with the Chief Justice, work with the Judicial Council to make sure that we have a judiciary that is fair, that dispenses justice to all without recognition of your political or ethnic color, without recognition of who you are. And so I think that this is a landmark decision. And if I was the Attorney General, I'll just let it rest there. But I hear he says he's going to go to the Supreme Court. It shows how malicious his eagerness to prosecute this case.
So that was a TV3 exclusive with Komla Kluche. You can watch this interview on Ghana Tonight later at 10 p.m. Also online on Facebook, any of our channels. This is News 360, major news bulletin for the day. And still on this ambulance trial, the minority in Parliament has meanwhile welcomed the decision, maintaining any further appeal will be unsuccessful.
By a 2-1 decision, the Court of Appeal upheld that the decision by the High Court for him to proceed with a submission of his case had no legal basis, and therefore did not only discharge him but acquitted him. That is what we are celebrating, and he's invited to celebrate us. Now, Mr. Speaker, I hear the Attorney General, even instead of swallowing his humble pride, is saying that he wants to litigate on this matter. Mr. Speaker, we assure him that he will be further disgraced because this matter, if you want to try people, try them on matters which are legally meritorious. Letters of credit are mere guarantees. I can go into the matter. This is parliamentary chamber. So, Mr. Speaker, the minority here is celebrating the independent, courageous decision of the Court of Appeal.
Speaker, it must never be said, that the judiciary is under the control of the executive. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Harun Edrisu is a courtroom practitioner, just as I am. You were a courtroom practitioner. One of the things that we were taught at the bar was to accept the decisions of the courts. And when we are not happy, we should go up. And that is how we enrich the law. So I think that in his celebration, he shouldn't use this as a forum to attack the Attorney General who has no right of audience here. I celebrate in your victory. And you know how much it means to democracy in this country. Minority leader on trial, you've gone through the system, your belief in the judiciary system. Today, on all fours, I don't take alcohol, but I can offer you a non-alcoholic one. I know Aki doesn't take alcohol either. Anytime we go for lunch, it is fruit juice. So I will offer him fruit juice. But I would want my brother Ato and all colleagues to know that judiciary and their independence must be respected.
And away from Parliament, private legal practitioner and law lecturer Justice Abdullahi has sued the Attorney General, challenging President Akufo-Addo's decision to appoint COP Christian Tete Yonu as Deputy IGP. He argues the said position is unconstitutional and has no basis in law. Let's look at relief that Justice Abdullahi is seeking. He's seeking a declaration that the creation of Office of Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations by the President of the Republic is unconstitutional, null and void. Also seeking an order restraining the Commissioner of Police, Christian Tete Yonu, from acting or purporting to act as Deputy IGP in charge of operations. It also seeks a further order restraining the IGP or any command under him from accepting, relating to and or issuing instructions to COP Christian Tete Yonu and his assumed capacity as Deputy IGP in charge of operations. In more news tonight, after more than 2 decades of multiple parliamentary deliberations, Ghana's parliament has passed the Affirmative Action Bill. The bill requires government to set progressive targets for achievement of gender equity in public office, governance and decision-making processes.
Honourable members, those in favour of the third reading of the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The Affirmative Action Gender Equality Bill 2024, Bill 2024, now Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024, duly read the third time and passed. An act to provide up at the public gallery, and it's not just today. They have been with us throughout. It's not been easy. We need to move together. It is not a bill for just women. It's a bill for all of us. It's a bill for development. This is the first stage. We have passed the law. We have to appropriate adequate resources for the ministry to lead the implementation of the provisions that we have enacted. So we've just started. Don't let's celebrate and don't really put in place the vision that we have created for the country.
Let's now look at some parts of the bill and what it provides. And under the bill, government is required to set progressive targets for achievement of gender equity, establishes the Gender Equity Committee to ensure and monitor compliance with the law. Government under the bill is required to ensure progressive gender balance in public office, governance and decision-making. Also, affected positions including ministerial positions, Council of State, independent constitutional bodies, security agencies, the judiciary, parliament. Political parties are also required to ensure progressive achievement of gender equity targets. The Electoral Commission is also to ensure that parties comply in respect of positions at the national, regional and district levels. Also, private sector employers are required to ensure progressive achievement of gender equity targets. Let's speak to Shamima Muslim. She is a gender activist. Shamima, thank you so much for your time. And you must be excited. And in the words of the speaker, don't just celebrate. He's also making a point that passing of the law is only the first step. Is that a view that you also share? And how soon do you hope to see significant achievements of this much talked about gender parity?
Thank you so very much. Yes. We within the movement are very excited, and we are happy at this very first important step. And the speaker is right, but it is a first important step. But the real work actually begins from now, when we begin to ensure we put the various structures in place to operationalize the various provisions. Of course, we recognize that this is not a one-day thing. It's going to be a process, a gradual process, but we must work towards achieving the target in a very intentional manner. Today, however, it is a victory because it's a recognition that the fights we have been fighting for, the issues we have been speaking about, are germane, and that germane not only to the few women who speak about them on behalf of the majority of women in our society, they are germane to the national development of our country. The research, the science is there to back it that a country whose women continue to be underrepresented, marginalized, unempowered, participate fully, socially, politically, economically, is a country that would not reap the gains of transformation anytime soon. So I expect that the president will quickly assign his signature to the bill and gazette it, let it become law, and quickly commit. Because I think one of the criticisms against President Akufo-Addo is that he hasn't shown enough commitment. Also because of his statement when he went to Canada and the Women's Deliver Conference to say that Ghanaian women hadn't shown enough dynamism is really what created a lot of concern amongst us, because it was in one stroke downplaying the varied and various contributions that women have and continue to play. For me, one of the things we must look at is the areas that remain for the glass ceilings to be broken. The political sphere is one of the most important transformative aspects that we must look at. If you look at Ghana's political representation of women, at least we have managed to break some glass ceilings. We've had a first female Speaker of Parliament. We've had a first female Chief Justice, a first female Attorney General, and today we have a first female Vice Presidential candidate. Hopefully she'll become the first female president. The other area of worry is Parliament. We have a 275-member Parliament with only 40% women, about 14 or so. The target is 30% at least of women representation in Parliament. The Interparliamentary Union has warned countries who fail to meet this target by 2030. The 30% women representation.
Now, Shamima, it's one thing passing this bill into law, and there is also the problem of implementation in this country. Now, looking at the law, it does appear that responsibility still rests with government and various agencies to take practical steps, including certain targets, despite the absence of a robust sanction regime for non-compliance. Do you envisage this could be a challenge?
It could. It could be a challenge if we don't show the requisite commitment to implementing the law. One of the major ways we can address that is to ensure we implement a public education and sensitization, especially of the institutions that are expected to implement these equity and equality provisions. They themselves must buy into the idea. So we need an educational intervention to sensitize, to let them know why, to show them the signs and the benefits to the bottom line. But ultimately is leadership commitment. When leaders are committed to something, they will dedicate the necessary resources, they will ensure the necessary infrastructure is in place to operationalize. So 4 years on, 4 months more to the the end of President Kufuor-Addo's tenure, I think that he will make Ghanaians very happy and Ghanaian women very happy if he quickly ensures that he commits the necessary resources to start the implementation of the affirmative action bill.
Shamima, thank you so much for your time. And Shamima Muslim is a gender activist.
Meanwhile, some members of parliament have been reacting to the passage of the bill.
Of Parliament, Right Honourable Speaker Bagwin. Then we thank each and everyone in the chamber that made it possible. I expect that everybody should embrace it. All we are calling for is equity.
We've broken that glass ceiling. So we've made progress, but if the progress is backed by law and held by law, it's a good thing. So the affirmative action bill which has been passed is a very good thing. Just I'm sure that no president, when he's appointed, will think about whether it's a man or a woman.
I carried out amendment yesterday. In our political settings, we don't do nomination of candidates. So if you are urging upon the political parties to nominate women, what are you doing? You are referring to a safe seat in the opinion of the political party. So if in the opinion of political party A, that is a safe seat, but in the opinion of political party B, that is not a safe seat, then it means that in the opinion of a political party that it is a safe seat, that should be exclusive reserved for a woman. And for a political party that does not consider it to be a safe seat, then every sex can contest. So what sense does it make? So we made a proposal that that be deleted, and the House has agreed upon it.
Reminder, still watching News 360, our major news bulletin for the day. We're streaming live on Facebook, also live on your DSTV channel 279. If you feel strongly about any of our top stories this hour, feel free to share your views and your comments with us, and we promise to share them with the rest of the world. Now, former judge and first commissioner of the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Justice Emil Short, has come to the defense of the Electoral Commission, maintaining it cannot be tagged incompetent despite recent errors. This comes in the wake of some civil society groups and the opposition National Democratic Congress criticizing the Commission on how it has handled data collection. Emil Short spoke in an exclusive interview with my colleague Beatrice Edu.
I have confidence in the Electoral Commission, and I'm hoping that they would prove to the nation that the elections will be conducted in a transparent, free, and fair manner. The party agents and everybody involved in the elections should make sure that they do their duties diligently to make sure that the whole process is done in a very transparent manner.
They will prove. You said you have confidence in the EC. So far, has the EC convinced you?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with the performance of the Electoral Commission so far.
And then what do you say about the recent numbers coming out and then the EC goes back to correct them and all of that, which is fueling quote-unquote suspicions that the EC may not be doing a good job even ahead of the 2024 general election?
Well, these are human errors which can happen in any institution. So I don't think that should diminish in any way the competence of the Electoral Commission and the sincerity of the Commission in conducting the elections in a very free and fair manner.
How do you think the EC can be transparent? Because there have been allegations of, oh, this thing just came up and it didn't come up at IPAC. We should have known this before you announced this. How does the EC get on the same page, as it were?
I think all the political parties must make sure that they attend IPAC meetings and discuss all issues and resolve them at IPAC.
That will be your recommendation on how you think the EC can prove to Ghanaians that it is being transparent ahead of the 2020.
Well, that's one part of the mechanism of EC proving that it is going to conduct the elections in a free and fair manner.
Religious and political leaders are calling for strategic and innovative measures to ensure peaceful elections. This comes in the wake of recent terrorist attacks in the sub-region, which has put security operatives on high alert. Ikea Oforiwadako has more in this report.
There are growing concerns that terrorist groups could exploit political uncertainties to entrench their position and expand their activities to other parts of West Africa and beyond. Ahead of the polls, representatives from National Security, Catholic Bishops' Conference and the GJA have been deliberating on ways to ensure a peaceful process.
Concerning the elections that are about to take place, definitely during election, somebody will lose, somebody will gain. So our advice and our suggestion go first and foremost to those who are vying for power. Please, if you lose, accept it gracefully. There will be another time, another opportunity. Carry your message clearly, and the people of Ghana will listen to you.
Minister of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs Stephen Asamoah-Boateng noted that every action by the political parties during election campaigns could have far-reaching implications on the country. He called on stakeholders to embrace the values of peace, inclusivity and security.
Yes, we pride ourselves as a peaceful nation, but for me, it is sometimes just worse. If you go down underneath issues and challenges are dangerous. It can spark a fight anywhere. And especially when we have an election this year, we should all be careful how we speak, how we talk, how we relate to ourselves.
A 5-year plan tagged Sahel Peace Initiative, SPI, was launched at the National Forum on Social Cohesion, Security and Peaceful Elections, which is underway in Accra. The SPI plan would also enhance and build trust between the citizens and security personnel, create awareness about violent extremism, as well as advocate for positive change. Ikea Oforiwadako, TV3 News, Accra.
Promasidel Ghana, the company behind the popular chocolate beverage brand Twisco, has organized a 5.4-kilometer walk. The event, named Walk with Twisco, is part of the company's ongoing efforts to promote the health and well-being of Ghanaians.
The walk from Ayimensa Tobu to Ketasi MA School Park in Pediasi saw a turnout of 800 participants. The walk aimed to encourage fitness and healthy living among participants. Promasidel's marketing manager Michael Hagan emphasized the company's commitment to promoting general wellness.
We're going a step further to also promote the well-being of Ghanaians through physical activity. We're supporting this with the Twisco brand. Twisco is our newest chocolate beverage, which is fortified with essential minerals and vitamins. Now, besides its great taste, what Twisco has also done is that it's positioned as a brand to power the dreams of every single Ghanaian, to aid them in achieving their goals that they set out to achieve.
The Work with Twisco initiative is part of a broader strategy by Promasidel Ghana to support community engagement and promote a healthy lifestyle among Ghanaians.
The work has really been helpful. Actually, it's been a long while since I had a health walk or any kind of physical activity that involves a lot of burning calories. But today's work has been so helpful and I feel good in my body.
Promasidel Ghana continues to demonstrate its commitment to corporate social responsibility and community engagement through various initiatives aimed at improving the well-being of Ghanaians. The company's efforts contribute to the larger goal of sustainable development, particularly in promoting health and wellness.
A reminder, still watching News 360, our major news bulletin for the day. We'll take a short break and return with the very latest in the world of business.
You know, one bucket of flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, one bucket of flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
I love President Charcoal.
Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste.
That's both charcoal and lemon.
Oh, does it?
Yes. Look right here. Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has 2 of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Transform your business ideas into success stories with Telecel Business. Choose from a wide range of products and services tailor-made to drive your business. Call 0302-233-4040 or email to business@telecel.com.gh to sign up today. Telecel Business, connecting opportunities, connecting goals, connecting businesses. Telecel, connecting energies.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN
and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, economist Dr. John Kwachi says that to tackle Ghana's foreign exchange supply and demand gap, policies must be implemented to address both the demand and supply fronts of forex supply in the country. According to him, one effective way to address this challenge is for the Bank of Ghana to increase its forex allocations for imports from 40% to 70%, among other measures. Ghana has over the years auctioned forex to industry players as part of its provision of forex for key sectors. However, this has been inadequate, meeting less than half of the total demand. This shortfall has contributed to increased demand for forex and consequently the depreciation of the local currency. Economist Dr. John Kwachi believes efforts must be made to change this narrative.
Bank of Ghana should also progressively build up the foreign exchange cover of the cedis it has issued. The current statutory floor is that the bank should cover that with 40% of foreign exchange. We are suggesting that progressively they should increase it to about 70% or at least 6 months of import cover. That will give a solid backing to the exchange rate.
Based on Dr. Kwachi's proposal, there would still remain a forex deficit of about 30% to meet the country's total demand. He has been suggesting an alternative.
Where do we get the extra foreign exchange from? Our natural resource wealth. It is there. We can own it and use it to support your CD. It's as simple as that.
These were parts of conversations had at the National Citizens Review and Feedback on the IMF-supported program organized by the Economic Governance Forum. Meanwhile, Ghana's cedi faces threat of continuous depreciation as cost of refined oil imports continue to rise. According to Data Bank research, corporate demand pressures, among other factors, continue to fuel the cedi's depreciation. Last week, the local currency depreciated 1.48% week on week against the US dollar, about 2.8% against the British pound, and 2.18% against the euro on the retail market.
As of June 2024, Ghana's refined oil imports increased by a little above $428 million from $422.6 million in May 2024, according to Bank of Ghana's Summary of Economic and Financial Data. The uptick in demand for oil imports and the corresponding rise in demand for foreign exchange from importers led to the cedi's depreciation by about 4.46% month on month against the US dollar in June 2024.
We are seeing pressures as well from the oil importers generally, given that most of the intervention they get from the central bank is just 40 million. They also have some liquidity that they manage, but most of those liquidity needs now come mainly onto the retail markets, which continues to fuel some depreciation that we see in the cedi.
Government is urged to adopt more import substitution measures to shore up the cedi against its perennial depreciation status.
You realize that most of the receipts, the cocoa chain, do not really accrue to us. We can look at other exports like gold or even some oil substitution where we get some of our refineries going. Though they may not be able to meet the full demands on the market, at least they help stem the import needs. And with that, we would see less pressure on the local unit.
This week, the cedi is expected to remain on a weakening path, although relatively stable, as corporate demand pressures build up.
Now, the Ghana Extractors Industry Transparency Initiative, GATI, is calling on the government to maintain regulatory requirements for extended periods, facilitating easier planning for businesses. Co-chair of GATI, Dr. Steve Mantea, notes multinational organizations have expressed concerns about the frequent changes to regulatory requirements, such as taxes and levies, which hinder the operations and planning.
The companies are not looking so much for incentives. They are looking for regulatory predictability. So you don't wake up one morning and the rules governing your operations are changed, and then it affects your bottom line. If I make my projections based on current economic circumstances, and then I wake up in the morning and in the budget, government has introduced a new tax, and in spite of the stability provisions I have, in my contract, government imposes this new fiscal terms on me, then it affects my plan. It throws everything off gear. And so what the companies actually want is more stability in terms of the application of the rules of the industry.
Economist Dr. Saad Idrisu has recommended a public-private partnership approach for the implementation of the proposed Women Development Bank by the National Democratic Congress, NDC. The party says its next administration will establish the said bank to empower 1 million women in the country.
If you go around the country, you realize that women-dominating businesses go to our markets, our lorry stations, even in our neighborhoods, our convenience stores, they are all being run by women. But these women are at a disadvantage in accessing capital from the bigger banks. So providing a bank purposely to serve women businesses is a great initiative. The overall economy will improve. However, to be able to have the magic that we will need, such a policy should be decentralized. It shouldn't just focus on only Accra or the big cities. It should have branches even at the rural level, so that our market women in the rural areas could also have an opportunity. And again, such a loan should be interest-free. Interest-free will encourage women to keep going to these banks for the loans.
Well, that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next, the sports.
She's coming. She's coming!
coming.
I know. Go to the pharmacy now.
She's coming. Oh. She's here.
Pay faster, pay safer, and pay easy with Momo app. Download now and pay with the QR code, merchant ID, and so much more.
Live in a community where your neighbors become family. And where family is love that awaits you on a daily basis. And where friendships bind us together in communal spirit. This is Eden Heights, a well-planned paradise with ready-to-move-in apartments and penthouses located behind the West Hills Mall, where living is a lifestyle. So, whatever your style, Eden Heights is the perfect place to live. For purchase or rental, call +233 50 153 1444 or +233 50 153 1445. Eden Heights, the height of modern living.
Time now for the very latest in the world of sport. In theory, we're just talking about the Olympic Games and the basketball. I mean, I watched the U.S. basketball team play with Serbia. It was amazing.
But it's the United States.
I'm telling you.
They own the sport.
That guy, Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, three-pointers, he just shoots like no one's business.
Kevin Durant, I mean, it's not just him. The thing about the basketball in the United States is just how star-studded it is. So there's LeBron James. Yeah, I mean, it's Dwayne Wade.
Amazing.
But the African team's also doing
South Sudan doing brilliant work there.
Maybe I should consider playing basketball.
Nah, your height's disqualified.
Paa Kwesi cannot, but perhaps I can. Anyway, it's time for us to bring you the latest in the world of sports right here on News 360. With me, Thierry Nyan, and Ghana began our part in the ongoing 2024 Olympics today with Harry Stacey becoming the second Ghanaian male to compete at the Olympic Games after finishing 7th in Heat 4 of the 100-meter freestyle. While he made history, a group of young swimmers gathered in Baltimore to watch the event keenly. There's more in this report.
It's early Tuesday morning at the Boteman Aquatic Complex. Many aspiring swimmers are gathered, going through the pace as part of a routine that they hope will culminate in an appearance on the big stage one day. And stages don't come bigger than the Olympics.
Put your eyes on Leo Nolis.
When Harry Stacey stepped up to compete in the 100-meter freestyle, he became only the second Ghanaian swimmer at the Olympics to do so. And many of his teammates, training partners, and coaches were looking many miles away with immense pride.
Hand on the wall first, but down in lay 8. It's Bad Bayer from Mongolia.
Stacey finished 7th in 51.12 seconds, way below his personal best of 50.57 seconds. He admits this wasn't his best swim, but the magnitude of the occasion is not lost on his.
My first 50 wasn't my best, but the second 50 coming back, I did what I normally do, so I'm not too mad at the performance, but it wasn't my best showing. So building blocks for the future.
Stacey may not have progressed, but he definitely has inspired many.
Looking at Harry swim right now, it feels like I should be more truthful to myself to work hard to just get to where they are.
We're very happy to know that we can qualify for Olympics no matter what.
Stacey's coach of many years, Ralph Quay, was proud to see him on the big stage.
Well, I'm very proud of his performance. But I think the next time he gets the stage, he will really make Ghana proud. In fact, today he has made Ghana proud because that was a very wonderful performance. But we can expect more of Harry Stacey to come forward.
And Stacey himself says he will be back on the Olympic platform.
Yeah, hoping to come back for Ghana, get some more medals, and definitely improve.
There will be many cheering him on.
Now, it is good news for African football, with Egypt and Morocco moving a step closer to the gold medal after both countries booked places in the quarterfinals of the men's football tournament at the Olympics. Morocco defeated Iraq by 3-0 to book Group B, to top Group B actually, with 6 points, made it out of the group with Argentina, who also finished with 6 points. Egypt also topped Group C with 7 points after defeating Spain by 2-1 earlier today. Let's look at some of the facts, of course, when it comes to African football and Olympics. As you see on your screen, currently, Zambia first team to progress from group stage in 1988. Ghana first to medal in football with bronze in 1992. Remember that. Nigeria and Cameroon won back-to-back gold for Africa in 1996 and the year 2000. And then Nigeria added silver and bronze in 2012 and 2016 to become most successful African side in Olympic football. And then 2 African teams, Egypt and Morocco, through to the quarterfinals in this one. Now, the Olympics has already produced a number of shocks early in the games. An American second seed, Coco Gauff, has fallen to a shock 6-2 points at 3-2 by a line judge, but the decision was overruled for Vekic to move 4-2 ahead, as she argued with officials. Gauff claimed she was being cheated. Now, 2024 Wimbledon finalist Yasmin Paolini was also knocked out earlier today, losing 7-5, 3-6, 7-5 to Karolina Schmidlova. We'll look at some more facts when it comes to the top seeds being knocked out of the Olympics. And so let's look at that. Now, United States, Coco Gauff, the second seed, dumped out of the tournament by Croatia's Zona Vekic. Yasmin Paolini, also Schmidlova in Paris, and then Wimbledon champion Barbora also came out on top in a titanic battle with Elina Svitolina, prevailing 7-6, 2-6, 6-4 in just under 3 hours. And then also Master Kotyuk also defeated Maria Sakkari to become the second Ukrainian player, woman or man, to reach the singles quarterfinals of the Olympics. All right, now we do some local football. And Accra Hearts of Oak has reaffirmed its dedication to elevating the club's brand and image. And on Tuesday afternoon, the board of directors conducted, an inspection and took possession of a newly completed 3-story state-of-the-art commercial complex.
Of course, we have secretariat, the secretariat that will continue to function. What we have today will remain our commercial center. Again, a demonstration for our commitment to ensuring that we exploit as much as possible the commercial value of the brand that we are building. We know that it doesn't take only infrastructure, but we need solid management. We continue to work at it. We need solid technical team. We continue to work at that as well. We need solid group of players. We're working at it. We want to assure our fans that management is committed, board is committed to assembling the best squad possible.
All right, and that'll be all for the sports here on News 360. My name is Theo Nyan. Thank you very much for staying with me. Entertainment is next.
Entertainment news segment is powered by 3 Entertainment. Good evening and welcome to the Entertainment News segment. My name is Anita Ikia Ikufu, and with an impressive lineup of artists, the 5-star general came Promise took over the street of Accra with a highly anticipated Promise and Friends Homowo and Peace concert. The event attracted thousands of music lovers who gathered for an unforgettable evening of entertainment and cultural celebration. In a spectacular celebration of music and culture, the five-star General King Promise lit up the streets of Nungwa for the Promise and Friends Homowo and Peace concert. With an electrifying lineup of top artists, the event transformed the city into a vibrant hub of entertainment. Thousands of enthusiastic fans flocked to experience an unforgettable evening filled with pulsating rhythms, powerful performances, and rich cultural festivities. From high-energy sets to soulful melodies, the concerts delivered a night of pure excitement and joy. King Promise, alongside his talented friends, not only entertained, but also brought people together in a harmonious celebration of music and peace. The event was a testament to the power of music in uniting and uplifting communities.
I'm a son of the soil. This is my hometown. This is where I grew up. I literally went to school over there. So I'm excited. What about Shia? Like I know. Honestly, it's about the fans. And me having fun with my fans and my people where I'm from. I came with some friends. But tonight, it's not about anybody else. It's about making sure the fans are happy.
Still in entertainment, Burna Boy has announced the title of his next album, No Sign of Weakness, with a short snippet of a new song, Empty Chairs, accompanying the announcement. And the song lyrics suggest the artist is sticking to his bold and confident artistry and lifestyle. The lines about empty chairs at his shows alluding to his sold-out concert were a testament to his current standing in the music industry. And finally, for our creatives in the movie industry, the Africa Movie Academy Awards, AMA, is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and it's calling for film submissions from across Africa to mark this milestone. And this year marks 2 decades of honoring the vibrant film landscape of the continent. And to accommodate late entries, the submission deadline has been extended to August 10. And that'll be all for the Entertainment News segment. My name is Anita Ikia Ikufu. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Anita. Coming up, international news.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Liberia's former finance minister following allegations he was involved in a 500 million corruption scam. Samuel Trey, along with 4 other senior officials in former President George Weah's administration, have been indicted for allegedly stealing from the government when they were in office. Mr. Trey, who was previously sanctioned by the U.S. for corruption, called the indictment a politically motivated witch hunt against him and other former officials. The Weah administration, whose 6 years in power ended in January, was plagued with allegations of corruption and financial mismanagement. When President Joseph Boakai took over, he pledged to crack down on corruption. On Monday, the 5 former officials were indicted for economic sabotage, illegal disbursement and expenditure of public money, criminal conspiracy and other charges. City Court in the capital Monrovia subsequently issued warrants for their arrest. The Democratic Republic of Congo has accused the Rwandan army of jamming satellite navigation systems affecting civilian flights in the conflict-hit east of the country. It said Rwanda, which borders DR Congo, was interfering with aircraft global positioning system GPS signals through jamming and spoofing, a type of cybercrime that involves creating a false identity or impersonation. This posed a significant risk to both commercial and humanitarian flights bringing in essential aid for victims of conflict, the government added in a statement. Rwanda has not yet responded to the allegations. A UN report released earlier this month accused Rwanda of having up to 4,000 troops in DR Congo to help the M23 rebel group in its fight against government's forces. Rwanda did not deny the allegation and said the DR Congo government lacked the political will to resolve the crisis in its mineral-rich east.
Right. Please check your screens right now. Yes, right now. Check on your screens. You see a QR code. What you've got to do is to kindly pick your smartphone and scan the code. It will take you to our exclusive WhatsApp channel for 3 News. That's where you find everything news from us here on TV3, from our news code cards to videos and details of events as they are happening. It's a 3 News channel on WhatsApp. Do well to scan and follow to get the latest news as it happens. My name is Paa Kwesi Asare.
And I am Portia Gabor. Do join Alfredo Kanse at 10 p.m. for Ghana tonight. Good evening.